Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of Sam's Motoring Machine, and following hot on the heels of the audio upgrade that we did on the L322 recently, and before that doing all of the intake rebuild and all the stuff we did on the front of the engine, I've got another episode of upgrades for you guys. Now this isn't an upgrade video in the sense that those AliExpress cheap upgrades videos were. This is a bit more involved, a bit more technical, but I think it should have a really good outcome that should be worth all the effort. So what are we doing? Now some of you guys will know previously I had an LED light bar installed into the grille on the front of the L322. Now that was back when it had its original grille, one with the slats, which I replaced last year with this Autobiography Black edition. However, when I got rid of that old grille, it also meant getting rid of the slim LED light bar that I installed. So part one of this episode is going to be installing these 7-inch high intensity off-road LED spotlights to the front of the Range Rover. These are from a company called Auxbeam, who kindly sent these out to me quite a while back, along with a load of other good stuff. And in the second part of this install, which may or may not be in another episode, I've also got an Auxbeam 8-button RGB control panel, which is a very, very cool item, which we're going to be using to control these lights, as well as a load of other stuff on the Range Rover. Now, in order to get those 7-inch LED spotlights securely fitted to the Range Rover's front bumper, I went out and found this. This is an original Land Rover accessory kit which allows you to fit driving lights or spotlights to the front of the L322. And it came with all this hardware neatly shrink wrapped onto this panel here, all the brackets and bolts and stuff like that, as well as a template for cutting holes in the front bumper, and also the original instructions from Land Rover, so that's really good. There is one small problem with this kit though, however, and that is that it's not designed to be used with the third facelift of the Range Rover, the 2009 to 12. This is designed to be used on the earlier cars, so 2002 to about 2009. And while the bumper structure underneath is pretty similar to the earlier cars, the skin and the grille are a bit different, and they're a bit more raked in terms of their angle. So I think it means we're going to have to do a little bit more trimming in order to get this to work. But I am pretty confident we can get this all to work, and we're going to have a go. So let's get cracking. So to get started on this, we've got to take off the bumper outer shell here, or the bumper cover, and to do that, we've got to first take off this front grille. So let's do that. Now on the earlier cars, I'm pretty sure you had to take out the headlights to get the front bumper cover off, but I don't think that's the case on the late L322. We'll definitely find out though. And strictly speaking, I should be taking the front two wheels off to get out the fixings that are on the back of this bumper here. But I'm going to try it with the wheels on. But what I am going to do is just lift the suspension up a little bit, just to try and give us a little bit more access to the back of this panel without taking the wheels off. And we'll see where that leaves us. Monster truck mode. Yeah, I'm going to try and do it without taking the liner out completely. That one, and we'll just kick this one out as well, just give ourselves a bit more wiggle room. Okay, so hopefully that's enough. Okay, and I believe that's the only one we need to take out from behind the arch liner, so that should be free now, which it is. Right, let's go around and do the other side now. So we'll take off this outer cover which covers this front recovery point. It's always good to remember that's there if you ever need it. Obviously it's going to be for recovering other people as opposed to recovering the Range Rover, but you know, never know when a Toyota driver might need some help. So with that out of the way, then we've got a row of 10mm headed screws to take out along the front there. And there's also two little 8mm headed ones. Where are they? On there. Actually here, that's screwed directly into the bumper bar, judging by the sound it's making. And then there are 4 more big crosshead screws that are accessed by these plugs on top of the bumper here. Right, now I believe we can carefully pull this forwards, which we can. We're not completely free yet because there's still some stuff to disconnect. So we've got a wiring harness on this side which needs to come off, and then a hose for the headlight squirters. So let's have a look at that. Okay, that's the main harness. Now I've just got to decide where to disconnect this. Okay, not there. We're going to lose all of our squirter fluid. So as I said earlier, this official Land Rover spotlight mounting kit was designed for the 02 to 09 L322, which has a slightly different bumper and grille and headlight arrangement to these later ones. So that presents us with a little bit of a problem. See, these brackets in the kit which the spotlights mount onto are designed to sit on top of the bumper bar, and they pick up on this threaded hole in the bumper here, which I presume is for the A-bar, if you have that soft A-bar. And then what you're supposed to do is drill 2 more holes back there at the back of the bumper bar, and then put in 2 threaded inserts or riv nuts. And then you've got 3 bolts holding this bracket onto the front bumper. But as you can see, when I install this on the later L322, it positions this bracket for the spotlight too far in. It's almost underneath the front grille. I have seen some people install them like this on the late L322s and then take a chunk out of their grille in order to fit the spotlights on top. But I want to see if I can avoid that, if at all possible, because I don't really want to cut my new grille, and I want to position the spotlights a bit further forward, as I think it will look a little bit better as well. So what I was thinking at this point is, if I take this one off for the left side, take the bracket for the right side, spin it round by 180 degrees, you can see that that positions the spotlight in pretty much the perfect position relative to the grille. So because these brackets are a mirror image of each other, the left to right position is still the same, but it's just pushed it forwards by about 1 inch or 2, something like that. So as you guys can see, that'll be pretty much perfect. There's just about enough space down the back to get your wiring into the grille, and there's no interference with the grille. So that would be perfect. However, that's only using one fixing at the moment. So even if that was really well done up, it probably would have a tendency to move around a little bit. So we would probably have to add another bolt through the top here, a nut and a bolt just through this top lip of the bumper bar, which I'm quite happy to do. And I'd also have to lop off this unneeded part of the bracket here, which I think would be fine as well. Now my only question is, once I've done that, is this going to fit behind the front bumper? Is there enough space between the front bumper and the front bumper bar for that to sit in front of the front bumper bar? Only one way to find out. We also won't be needing this little bit here, so that can go. And then all we'll do is add another hole here, so we've got two nice mounting points. I think that should be plenty strong enough just for a nice lightweight LED spotlight. So I bolted the new slimline spotlight mounting bracket on just temporarily. Let's see how far the bumper goes on. Make sure this gets lined up properly. That's actually gone on surprisingly far. It looks like we're about 3/4 of an inch off. You can just feel it pressing on it in the inside here. So I'm hoping that's something we can sort on the inside of the bumper, because there's a fair bit of plastic webbing and stuff inside there that we should be able to cut out to make a bit more space. Let's give it a go. So a bit more grinder massaging. I've just taken the corner off of this bracket and massaged this edge back a little bit just to make it as low profile as I can. And then I just clipped a small amount of webbing out of the inside of the bumper out of the way. And now this bumper goes back all the way, so that's perfect. So all I've got to do now is do the same again on the other side. And then we've got to figure out where we're going to drill our holes in the top of the bumper. And that'll basically be the brackets done. Oh, I've also got to add a second hole and a nut and bolt through the top of this bracket so that it's nice and sturdy, but I'll do that once we've got both in place. So there you go, we've got both of our trimmed down spotlight mounts bolted onto the bumper there. All I want to do now is go through with the drill on both sides and just put an extra fixing in through the top of that plate, through the top of the bumper bar on both sides, and that'll make them really nice and secure. But first, I just want to use this paper template, which actually came in the kit, the official Land Rover kit, to make sure that the distances between the holes, so the hole centres, are actually at the correct distance. So let's just have a quick check now. We'll line that one up over the top of that. The other one falls perfectly on top of the other one, so that's good. It means that our holes are at the correct distance. And we should be able to use this as a template to drill a hole in the top of our bumper here. This is obviously designed for early L322 bumpers, but I think I should be able to use this as long as I can set the longitudinal distance correctly. So I'll probably have to take some measurements from this bolt center to like the front of the grille or something like that, and then put the bumper back on again and then replicate that to get the hole position in the correct place. But we'll worry about that in a minute. So that's both spotlight brackets mounted under here, and I'm going to put the bumper on basically as far back as it will go to make sure it's in the position it's going to be in when it's finally bolted in. So I'm going to put a couple of bolts in along here just to hold it, and maybe a couple at the bottom as well, just to make sure everything's lined up. So I need to get this centered in the middle of the car as best as I can. And I know that from the grille, from the edge of the grille here, it's 45 millimeters to where the holes are, the mounting points. So it's going to take a little bit of fiddling around, measuring, and I'll probably stick this down with some tape before I finally drill and hopefully land right on top of the steel brackets that we've put in underneath. So there we go, 7-inch LED spotlights fitted to the front of the Range Rover using the proper early L322 spotlight brackets. And even though I didn't use the brackets as Land Rover quite intended, and I did a fair bit of chopping with the angle grinder, they're extremely sturdy, these things. There's no way they're going to be coming off anytime soon. Now I think 7 inches is the same size as the genuine Land Rover spotlights are. I think that's about the right size for the front of the L322. You can get these and other lights like them in 9-inch variants, which would be obviously 2 inches bigger. I think that might look a little bit big and a bit silly on the front of the L322, and I think these are just about right. This pair of lights is supposedly 230 watts of LED power, so it should be quite exciting when we actually get round to turning them on. For now though, these lights are going to serve purely aesthetic functions, sitting here looking pretty on the front of the Range Rover, and that's because I want to wait until I get back to Kent with all my wiring tools and also my 3D printers before I get to the next stage of this Auxbeam install, where we're going to be installing that cool RGB Bluetooth switchgear as part of wiring up these spotlights. That video will be coming very soon, but for now you'll just have to enjoy these sexy B-roll shots. I'm now back from our very successful European tour in the L322, so there will be some content coming from that trip very soon as well. So please, if you're one of my 70% of viewers who aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the content, and I'll see you very, very soon. Ta-ra!